Just like the traditional education system barely empowers us on topics around money, business, it's the same way when you get a coaching certification or you even learn a skill, you barely get taught the basics of money. However, you're in business to make money. Of course, you're in business to make impact as well. But the topic of money is so important, and that's why in today's video, I'll be talking about how to price your coaching packages. This topic is really important because you must know what influences your pricing, and if your pricing isn't right, it could even affect the sales of what you do. You don't want to be caught in a place where you're not sure when it's the right time to lower or raise your prices. You're just following the bandwagon because that's what someone else is doing. If you're new here, my name is Chris-Amusan. I'm an online marketing strategist, and I help coaches and course creators create a marketing system that helps them attract and convert premium clients with ease. So if this sounds like you, remember to hit the subscribe button so that you get notified every time I release a new video. I release videos every single week. So talking about pricing strategy, how to price your coaching packages, how to approach pricing in your business. The first thing I'd like to say is there is no hard and fast approach to pricing. One rule, however, that you must follow is that your pricing must match the value that you are delivering to your clients. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It has to be in place. First, let's talk about pricing structure. What are the various ways you can structure your pricing? You could structure your pricing based on time. So you've probably heard about hourly packages for pricing. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this. In fact, I don't use this a lot in my business. I may not have a lot of experience with this kind of packaging. An example of this is when you want to work with someone and they tell you, I'll charge you $10 per hour, or I'll charge you X pricing per day, or whatever. The danger of this method of pricing is your client may tie in the value they're receiving to you based on your time. I personally don't like that because I know that the value I deliver to my clients transcends just the time. Say, for example, you're a parenting coach. You're helping your clients train their kids. The value that you're delivering to your clients, depending on what specific thing you're doing with them, it transcends just the time, right? It even transcends the money. It's like you are shaping the future of an entire child. That's an entire lineage that you're helping these parents set straight. Now, one of the creative ways that I have found to use hourly packages in my business is with VIP days. My VIP days are like, we come and create your funnel in a day. We would have had previous meetings or previous requirements that you'd have had to send in, and then we sit down for 6 hours, 4 hours, depending on the package, to get all the work done. So that's a creative way to use hourly packages but not underpricing yourself. Another way you could do this is with express strategy calls. So as opposed to, when you have free discovery calls for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, you could actually have a 1 hour or a 90-minute strategy call, for example, and you give that like just a bare minimum pricing. That could even be one of your introductory offers, because you know that people who get on this kind of a call with you may want to work with you for longer periods of time. Very creative. Now, another way to structure your pricing is with packages. Now, this is one I'm very familiar with, and this ties in very closely to deliverables. So rather than say, I'll work on your XYZ for 1 hour and I'll charge you $10 per hour, you could just say, I will help you deliver XYZ result, and to get this result, this is how much I will charge. And then part of the things you add into the contract is how long it may take to deliver that result. And why I really like this is because when you're having this conversation with the client, you're not putting the money first, you're not putting the timing first, you're putting the result first. Now, another way to structure your pricing is with retainerships. So retainerships are sort of time-based in the sense that it's like monthly, quarterly. You could call it retainerships if you offer a service, but if you offer coaching, if you offer knowledge, you could call it a membership. Pricing structure is very common with, when you offer a membership, a community. For example, you typically charge people on a monthly basis or on a quarterly basis. I, for one, have used retainers with my agency. This is very common with agencies, service providers as well, where there's a service that you need to provide and you need to keep maintaining that thing. So for example, we build a funnel for you, we need to keep optimizing that funnel. We could charge you a monthly or a quarterly retainer just to ensure that we're there to keep our eyes on things. Or your website designer, for example, you could have a monthly retainer just to maintain the website if there needs to be edits made or just security checks and all of that stuff. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about how to price. The first strategy when it comes to pricing that I'll talk about is the penetration strategy. And just like the name sounds, penetration, it helps you penetrate. So the penetration strategy is usually low price in a sense because you're trying to sort of lower people's guard and come in at a no-brainer fee. This is usually good when you're a beginner in business. You're trying to just come in at a price that people will not have too many objections. And then typically after you've been on the market for a while, you've built brand recognition, you have testimonials, you have clients coming in through the door, then you can sort of repackage, elevate, and take the pricing up. Now, a good question to answer here with penetration is, Kiva, does penetration strategy always have to be like stupid cheap? No, not necessarily. So for example, in the coaching industry, a good benchmark in the industry for pricing coaching is usually like 1K, 1.5, 2K. Let's say you know that the value of what you're offering can be as good as 5K. You could start at the 1K, 1.5, or even 2K mark because you just want to reduce the entry barrier. You don't want people saying, oh yeah, I can get that for 2K elsewhere, I can get that for 1.5 elsewhere. And then once you've built your reputation, you can then go ahead and increase the pricing. So penetration strategy does not necessarily mean that you're underpricing or doing low tickets. It just means that you're finding the benchmark that is common, and then you start from there. And then later you can go up, which now brings me to the second strategy, which is the premium pricing strategy. Now, the premium pricing strategy, I like to see this as more of building the business of your dreams, your lifestyle business, because at this point, you have nothing to fear. You've paid your dues, you've built your reputation, and now it's like, okay, this is the pricing that works for me based off of how I need this business to fit into my lifestyle, and you raise your prices to match that. All right, so premium sometimes is not just because there is something to explain every single thing about the price. It's just because you can charge at that level, and so you just do it. A very good indication for using the premium pricing strategy is, first of all, if you have the results, you have quote unquote the clout, people are singing your praises everywhere. I mean, that's a very good point, because you know that you're not going to be begging people. People are going to be like, oh, I want this result, I want to be a part of this community of people that get this transformation that you help people get. Secondly, if you are at a point where you start to feel restless because you feel like the value that people are getting out of your program, it exceeds the current pricing, that's always a good time. Once you have that nudge, that's always a good time to appraise your pricing and take it up a notch. Now, the third pricing strategy is what I like to call the decoy strategy. And this applies in a case where you have maybe more than one pricing package for the same service. For example, you're a website designer and you have 3 packages, right? The decoy strategy sort of helps you point people in the direction of what you want them to do. So you could have a package, for example, that is $500, and that's just for the barest minimum. You're just doing something like maybe a landing page or something. And then you now have 2 other packages where you're building an actual website. However, your middle package is where you really want people to see it. But you put another package that is really premium because you know that many people may not take that one. And so that high pricing is sort of getting people to downsell to the one in the middle. So with the decoy strategy, you're just being very strategic with how you arrange the numbers, essentially. You can create a decoy either with your first 2 packages or with the last 2. So it's either you have a package that one is 500, one is 750, and then the other is like 1.5. Because the 500 and 750 are so close that people are like, I'd rather just take the 750 because it offers more. I don't want the 500. It's giving me stuff that is too small. Or you go the route where I said you could have a 500 package, and then you have one where you're offering the full website, where one is 2.5 and the other is 4K, because you know that people will probably go for the 2.5 where you offer the full package. So figure out what that is for you. I'm sure you've probably seen this where you're trying to subscribe to a software or something, and you see that they have 3, 4, or 5 tiers. And usually there's always a decoy where they tell you, oh, this is the most popular plan because that's what they want you to take. And then the next one is just slightly higher or slightly lower than the one that they're trying to draw your attention to. Now we're going to talk about how to calculate your pricing. This is where the rubber hits the road. But before we talk about that, I need to list some of the factors you should consider when calculating your price. First, you should consider the level of experience that you have. Experience cannot be bought in the market, so definitely consider that. How much have you spent investing in yourself, honing your craft? all of that counts for something, because that's what makes you be able to deliver the level of results that you provide for the client. Second, you should consider the amount of time, the resources, equipment, software, whatever that you will spend in rendering that service to the client. So is it a coaching program? How long does the program last for? Are you designing a website, or are you a photographer? How much time would you spend in editing? What's the software you're going to need? How much are you going to pay for all of that? Is there going to be logistic costs involved? Just consider every single thing that goes into you delivering that service. Now, another factor that ties in closely to this is cost of running business. So there are some things that may not tie in directly to you providing that service, but those are the things that keep your business afloat. For example, your rent, if you have an office, your internet costs. And this is a good point for me to insert that if you work from a home office, do not just overlook that. Your home office counts. So you definitely want to factor in your rent one way or another, your internet cost, the cost of electricity, all of those things, your assistants, your staff, the software that you pay for. Factor in all of that cost. How are you factoring them in? Of course, you're thinking, how much do I pay for these things on a monthly basis or an annual basis, and then start to break it down. We'll talk about that more when we talk about the calculations. Now, also think about the add-on services that you provide, or the add-on resources. So for example, you have a program. Are you offering worksheets to this client? Are they printed out worksheets that you have to deliver to the client, even as a part of your onboarding experience? So for some coaches who are doing really high ticket and premium programs, they literally mail you an onboarding package. Sometimes you get a mug, you get a t-shirt. So depending on the kind of elevated experience that you're delivering to your clients, you want to factor in all of that cost. Some other add-ons could be community. Do you host get-togethers? Is it a virtual get-together? Is it a physical get-together? You have a Facebook community. Of course, you need a community manager. That's extra time that is going into delivering that experience to the client. So do not forget the add-ons, the things that you add onto the service to make it more robust and more elevated. Now, another factor to consider from the client's angle is the pain points that you're solving, the solution that you're providing. How badly does this client need to solve this problem? How much of a pain is this issue to them? And the impact that you're delivering, how much impact does that make? So for example, I'm a marketer, right? I'm a strategist. I help people work on their marketing. All the work that I do will bring money to my client's table, right? And that's something that counts, because I could even say, oh, if you work with me and I know that you will get 5-10 clients from every run of what we do, then I can say, okay, it's fair enough for you to be able to pay me this amount that is equivalent to at least 1 client or 2 clients, because I know, or I'm confident that this is how many clients you will get. So for you, it may not tie in monetarily. There's an example I gave earlier about a parenting coach. You're thinking, okay, would you really put a price to what it costs to raise a child and ensure that you set that child on the right path for their lives? If you're a fitness coach, you're trying to help someone lose weight, you're trying to help someone get pregnant, you're trying to help someone get over, a heartbreak, what price will the client put to that result that you're trying to help them get, or the problem you're trying to help them solve? Do a survey and find out from them, of what value is this solution to you? And then let that be a good place for you to start benchmarking from. The second factor to consider from the standpoint of your client is, how much disposable income does your ideal customer have? We will always keep talking about your ideal customer. It's so key, because you need to know them in and out. Once you know that, oh, this is the kind of clientele I'm trying to serve, it will give you a sense of the disposable income they're likely to have based off of their life stage, based off of their geography, based off of their age, based off of their occupation. And that could also be a good pointer as to, oh yeah, this pricing point will work, or this price point may not work. For example, if you're serving people who are fresh out of school, they may not have 5K to pay you. So that's something to think about. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, we can calculate pricing. So the first step is, what is the value of service you provide? Write that down. Put a number to it. If you are a fitness coach, what is the value? What price would you put to it? And what's the benchmark that the market is putting on the value? So if you're a weight loss coach, or you're helping people get pregnant, or you're helping people get over a heartbreak, or you're helping people market their services and products, what's the value of that? Now write that down. Next, what is your annual income goal? Write that down. The next step you need to take is break your annual income goal into months. If your annual income goal is 100K, for example, break that into whatever it needs to be. Next, identify your pricing strategy. Are you coming with the penetrative strategy, or are you ready to go premium, or do you want to have various packages? Whatever that is, write that down. What are your packages and who are those packages meant for? Now, write down your cost of running a business: software, rent, your utility bills, your salaries. Remember to add the salary for yourself as well. Every single thing that goes into you keeping your business afloat. How much does that come to on an annual basis? And also now write down the monthly equivalent of that. So let's take a real life example. Coach Anita, she's a parenting coach. She helps parents raise wholesome children, and she has identified the value of the service she provides as priceless. Because can you really put an amount to what it is to raise wholesome kids and shape their lives? After doing a survey, she was also able to get a tangible figure to that. So she set her annual goal as 100K per year, which comes down to about 8,300 per month. She's identified her monthly running cost to be around 1,007. Now, Coach Anita wants to make 100K at the end of the year. It's now 8,003, and then our total running cost every month is 1,007. Now we're adding the profit of 8,003 to the total cost of running the business, 1,007, and that makes 10,000 revenue per month. So it means that for Anita to make 8,003 in profit every month, she needs to be getting a revenue of $10,000 every single month. This now begs the question, how should she package her product to ensure that she's able to make that amount? This would influence how she mixes up her packages. So for example, she could say, okay, I currently am a one-man team. I only have capacity to take on 2 new clients. I could just do one-on-one coaching for 2 clients at 5K, or one-on-one coaching for 3 clients at 3.5. If Coach Anita already has a coaching program or an online course that she's recorded, she could price that at 2K and try to get 5 enrollments per month so that she's able to meet the goal. So you see, this is how you sort of figure out, this is what I'm trying to earn, and this is how I need to package my products to meet that goal. Now, if Coach Anita has some low ticket price products, let's say she has a $20 ebook. If she had to use a $20 ebook to meet her goal of $10,000 a month, she would have to sell 5,000 ebooks. That's a lot. She will incur a lot in marketing spend to do that. In fact, the same amount of marketing spend that could bring her 2 or 3 high ticket clients where she has met her goal. However, how she can use her low ticket product to feed into this goal is probably to use that to bring in clients, and then she's upselling those clients to a high ticket product further down the line. So this is something you need to carefully consider when you figure out what product you're putting out every month or every quarter. Which of these strategies can you identify with, or do you think that your coaching package currently is correctly priced? Let me know in the comments. I would like to hear from you. If you'd like to work with me to help you create a system that ensures that you're hitting your income goals every single month, then check the link in the description for a free training to get started. Don't forget to subscribe so you get notified every time I release a new video. See ya!